Okay. By the way, anytime you see this thing on my screen, it means I'm recording the lesson, okay? Because I put everything on Plus Portals. I did. I turned it on today, thankfully. Okay, so does anybody know what a proportion is? Somebody take a guess. Brooklyn. Yeah, but we're not going to look it up. Let's see if you can guess. What is? Somebody tell me what you think a proportion. Jacob, what do you think a proportion is?
An object compared to other objects.
That is a fantastic guess. Zoe?
Like part of the whole.
Okay, can be. All right, so check it out. If I said, this is proportions, part 1. Okay, and this is 8, 24, 21. Okay, let's see here. Alana, give me a fraction, any fraction.
I don't know, 5/6.
5 over 6, okay. This is a ratio, right? Ratio is a fancy word for a what? Fraction, right? You guys agree? It's fraction? Good. If I was to say, give me a fraction with different numbers that is equivalent to this, in other words, the exact same value. Savannah?
10/12.
10 over 12. You guys agree? Okay. So is this right here, is this true? Does 5/6 equal 10/12?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Okay, this is a proportion. Okay? Proportion is basically 2 or more equivalent ratios. Okay? 2 or more equivalent ratios. Okay? Now, we're going to move forward now that you understand what a proportion is. Make sense? Okay. What if, okay, there's 3 parts. Okay, the first part that we're going to review, and this should be super review. Okay? Can I erase this? Everybody got this? Okay. Did somebody say no? Okay. Wait, let me know when you have it. It's cricket. Good, Lucas? All right. Okay, so let's say I have let's say I've got a fraction like this. Okay. First part of this lesson, like I said, is review. If I wanted you to simplify this fraction, could you? What does simplify mean? It's a fancy word for what? Reduce the fraction. How do I reduce a fraction? Chase? I'm going to use division. And in order to simplify a fraction, I have to find something that goes into both of them, right? Well, this one's easy. Why? Because they're both what?
Even.
They're both even numbers. If they're even, I know for sure I can divide by what? 4. By 2. So let's start with, and you can start with any number that they're divisible by, but in this case, let's just start with 2. Can I divide 28 by 2? What is that? 14. Can I divide 40 by 2? 20. Now, do I have 2 even numbers again?
Yes.
So what can I divide each of these by?
4.
I can't divide 14 by 4, can I? Can I divide them by 2 again?
Yeah.
What's 14 divided by 2?
7.
What's 20 divided by 2? 10. Now, how do I know for sure that I cannot divide that and reduce it? What's the only number that goes into both of those? Brooklyn?
1.
1. 1 is the only number, right? So that is considered a reduced fraction. Does that make sense? Easy, right? Okay, what if I have ginormous numbers? Let's say I had 900 over 1,050. Okay? I can start really simply. Does anybody know what I can do to make this one easier to reduce right off the bat? Brooklyn? Okay, do these both end in zeros? Anytime I have numbers that end in zeros, okay, those automatically cancel. So now, instead of 900 over 1,050, what do I have? 90 over what? 105, okay? Now, are these both even? No, 105 is not even. Okay, but do I know that something goes into both of them? Okay, if they have one of them ends in a 0, one of them ends in a 5, what goes into both of these? 5. How many 5s go into 90? Anybody? Abby? No, you almost said it. Rhymes with great teen.
18.
Yes, good. That's what you were going to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking about it.
How many 5s go into 105? Rhymes with schminty schmun. 21. Good. Now, what do you notice about this? Is there something that goes into both of these? What goes into both of them? 3. 2 doesn't, but there's 3. Okay. So if I divide this by 3 and divide this by 3, how many? 18 divided by 3 is what?
6.
21 divided by 3 is what?
7.
Okay, so we got all the way from 900 over 1,050 all the way down to 6. That's a 7, by the way. How do I know 6/7 is unable to be reduced? God bless you. What's the only thing that can go into both of those? Rhymes with fun. Starts with the w. 1. Good. Okay. Are you good so far?
Yes.
Do we need to do any more on reducing? No? Okay. So now, as we move into something different, okay? Let's say I've got, somebody give me a fraction. Reed, give me a fraction. A big one. 2 digits.
67 over 95.
Okay. 67 over 95. How can I tell if this can be reduced or not? How many of you think this can be reduced? None. Do you think it can be reduced? Maybe? Okay. Well, I know that 5 is divisible for sure by what? By 5, right? Okay. What about 67? That's not divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 5? How can I tell if it's divisible by 3? Does anybody know the trick to know if it's divisible by 3? What's 6 plus 7? 13. Is 13 divisible by 3? No. Not divisible by 3. Okay, 67 is what we call a number that's only divisible by 1 in itself. Does anybody know what that's called? Rhymes with slime. Prime number, okay? That's a prime number, right? Okay. So this is already reduced. Sometimes you come across one that's already reduced. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. All right. Now, let's see if I gave you 2 ratios. Okay, let's say I had something like this. Okay. And I asked you, does this ratio or do these form a proportion? Okay, and in order to form a proportion, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if one of them will reduce all the way down to the other. Okay, I have 7/8. Okay, can I do anything with 48 over 56? What goes into both those numbers?
2.
Okay, I can do 2. You start with 2, and that becomes 24. What's 56 divided by 2? Rhymes with plenty great. 28. Okay, can I reduce these again? Okay, what are they both divisible by?
4.
Okay, so if I do 4, what's 24 divided by 4? 6. What's 28 divided by 4? Okay, can I reduce these anymore? No. So this is gone. So I have 6 7ths and 7/8. They're close. Okay, but do those numbers equal each other? There's no way that those can ever be the same value. So do those two form a proportion? No, they do not. So my answer here would be no, right?
Oh,
Okay. Yes.
I just realized that we're taking notes. We're not doing the problems.
Oh yeah, we're taking notes for sure. When I write it up here, it's definitely notes. Okay, try this one. Let's say I got this. 27 over 10 equals 9 over 5. Okay? How many of you think this might form a proportion? Some of you say yes. Some of you say no. Who says no? Well, first of all, can I reduce 27 over 10? There's no number that goes into both of those, right? Okay. So do these form a proportion? No. But sometimes you have numbers that can't be reduced, but they may still form a proportion. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say I have, this is not a proportion, by the way. Let's say I have something like, well, I tell you what, I think all of these you can reduce to find a proportion. I think you're okay on that. Okay, try this one. Tell me if this forms a proportion. And this one's tricky. 72 over 80 equals 9 over 8. You think that forms a proportion? Okay. Trevor says yes. That's okay. We can still reduce it, right? Somebody help me reduce the first one. What's something that goes into both of those? Okay, so it's something bigger? Okay, even bigger? And does 8 go into both of those?
Yes.
Okay, so how many 8s go into 72? 9. So far we're good, aren't we? How many 8s go into 10? Oh, never mind. How many 8s go into 80? 10. Whoa, sorry. 10. Do these ever equal each other? No. So it looked like it might form a proportion, but did it? No. Okay, try this one. And sometimes you can reduce both of them. Okay, for example, this one. Let's say I got 36 over 24 equals 12 over 8. Okay. Well, can I reduce the first one? Somebody help me reduce this first one. What's something that goes into both of those?
3.
Okay, I can do 12. I can do 3. I can do any of those. You want? What do you want to start? Jace, pick one. What do you want to start with? 12. So if I divide this by 12 and this by 12, what is 36 divided by 12? 3. What is 24 divided by 12? 3 over 2. Now, right now, it looks like it might not be a proportion. But what can I do with this one? Can I reduce that one? Okay, Zoe, what's something that goes into both of those? 4. So if I divide this by 4 and this by 4, what's 12 divided by 4? What's 8 divided by 4? 2. Do they equal each other? Yeah, so did that form a proportion? Yes, it did. Okay, does that part make sense? Yes, no, maybe? A little bit? Yeah? Are we good to move to the next part? That's easy, right? Okay, today's lesson is super easy, by the way. Okay, Jace, give me a fraction. 9 over 12. Okay, if I asked you to give me 3 equivalent ratios to this, could you do it? You could, right? Okay. Are there infinite answers here? Pretty much, right? Okay, what's one equivalent ratio? Somebody give me one. Jacob.
3 over 4.
3 over 4. Okay. That I found by reducing, right? What's another one? What's another one? Lily. 18 over 24. Braden, what's another one? 9 over 6. Oh, well, would that be equivalent though? No. Okay, can I give you a really quick trick to make these equivalent? Could I do this?
Oh, wow.
Those are equivalent, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay. What's another one? Brooklyn.
108 over 144.
Okay. 108 over 144. Okay. As long as you multiply the top and the bottom by the same number, is it equivalent?
Yes.
Yeah. Or in this case, on the first one, we reduced it. It's still equivalent, isn't it? Okay. Does that make sense? Do I need to do another example, or are you good to go? Would you like your worksheet? Yes, no? Okay. Yeah, I told you.